On Monday, Americans heard our president issue a clarion call to action, to live up to the highest ideals of equality and opportunity, to make real the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, House Democratic leaders are here to fulfill that promise, to protect the lives and secure the liberty and happiness of America's women and families by reauthorizing and strengthening the Violence Against Women Act. For nearly 2 decades, the Violence Against Women Act has helped ensure that no victim of domestic violence has to suffer in silence or in the shadows. Its passage, led by then Senator Joe Biden, at the time the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, was a watershed moment for history. In our history. And in the years since, we've come together in a bipartisan way to reauthorize and expand the reach of this law. Now we must do it again. The last Congress had the opportunity to take this action. The Senate passed a strong bill with a bipartisan vote of 68 to 31. 68 to 31. Yet House Republicans refused to bring the Senate's bipartisan bill to the floor, leaving millions without a critical line of defense against domestic violence. This Congress has a chance to correct the mistake without further delay. Listening to Louise reminds me of what was happening in the 90s when we passed this bill. Marcy Kaptur, Rosa DeLauro, Nita Lowey, we all had to work on the funding on the Appropriations Committee for that was the next step, and that again had its challenges, but we ended up having some bipartisan support for that, and that was good. And then there were other issues that related to testing the income of the abuser for women who needed legal assistance. And when they'd go for legal assistance, they'd say, well, you don't qualify because your household income is including the income of the abuser. I mean, so there were many hurdles, and the example of when Louise talks about individuals and you talk about individuals, we learned so much from those. And frankly, for some of us, it was an education that was required because none of us had that experience in our own families, neighborhoods, churches, and the rest. Maybe it was there, probably it was, and we just didn't know it. But it was like, who would do that? Who would hit somebody? But they did. And this bill has to pass.